Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Meanspiration. I'm Annie Letterman. I'm the queen of the quarantine. I'm the queen of nothing. No more peen. There's not really that many peen pictures left. I think guys are just sick of sending pictures of their and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You can send your to me though, but you have to Venmo me $20. New rules. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's quarantine? I've got Anthony here. Anthony, can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you like my intro or did it seem defeated?
Defeated?
I don't know. I didn't feel I had
Did you get defeated by
I just, it's like you hate getting the then you stop getting the and then you don't want to talk about it because then you don't want the but it's like.
But you want the 20.
I want the 20. I want the 20. Venmo me, Annie-Letterman, $20. Send me a picture of your We'll discuss it on my Patreon. Can you show on Patreon?
Yeah, we'll call it like sexual art or whatever.
Can you do that, really?
I don't know, probably.
If we can, let's do this. You can send me $20, okay? We'll take your into a Zoom and we'll get the pointer out and we'll go through what's going on with your dick. Okay? We'll rate it. We'll get like one of those red things from that show. Remember that show with Lorenzo Lamas where they were like hot or not or something like that, and they'd have people come on and they would have like a red pointer thing and they'd be like, ugh, they'd be like, it's a little bit, yeah, the laser pointer, they'd be like, oh, it's a little cottage cheesy down here, and oh, you could get a nose job. It's like the most horrific show of all time. Like, why the fuck you would go on? It's crazy. We should bring that back. Oh my God. Because I think when we come out of the quarantine, people are going to be like mean again.
Hopefully.
I think people are done with wokeness. They're done with being nice. They don't want to be inclusive anymore. It's going to be exclusive again. People are going to be fucking mean. And if that's the case, I want to be the one with the fucking pointer. But it could be just with, I guess it would have to be on HBO or something. Or Showtime. By the way, I have been watching the world's most horrific show.
What is it?
It's called Polyamory. It's on Showtime. It's from 2013, I believe. It had 2 seasons. It's all about polyamorous people. It's just a bunch of like, there's a couple hot people. And then other than that, it's like nasty old people fucking. There's like, you can see them all fisting each other and like just eating each other out and fucking each other. And it's crazy. I've been watching
it. Full frontal? It shows everything?
No, you actually don't see. We saw one guy's yesterday. That was surprising. And then I looked the guy up. He's an MMA fighter, and my jiu-jitsu coach liked one of his pictures. So now I cannot wait to call Scotty and be like, who is this fucking guy? Who is this guy? I liked looking all of them up now because 7 years can do a lot to a person. And I've seen them all naked. So it's like, I wanted to see how they turned out. And it's one girl's like still doing good. She was married to the fighter. And then none of them are together anymore, I don't think. Maybe a couple of them still, but not the ones that I could find out. But there was like one trio. They call themselves pods and trios. Uh-huh. And one of the trios it was this fighter who was pretty cute. He's hot. And then he had 2 girls and they were both hot. So it was like, this doesn't seem like.
Yeah, you just like threesomes with that.
It was just like this guy was like living a good life. But he was married to this chick and she was in the ground floor of this. She had one of those pole dancing like exercise places. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Pole dancing like exercise things, which I then looked up her Instagram, and then a couple of my friends, my like meditation teacher and then my friend who used to teach me Pilates, both follow her. They both do pole dancing shit. So I think she's pretty popular in it. And she's been doing all these like videos of herself like slutty dancing during quarantine. I don't know. I'm into her.
See her getting banged out. You can go.
Well, I saw her get banged out by her ex-husband because I don't think they're together anymore. And then he's just with the other girl, the younger girl that they brought into their marriage, which I predicted. It looked like they were more into each other. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think it was just like a guy that wanted to fuck more than one woman. And then he ended up just I don't know if he's married to this other chick. I think he's married to the other one now. But anyway, it's juicy.
Hot old people?
It's disgusting old people. They're the hot couple. They're the hot trio. And then there's this like group of, I don't know how many people are in it at this point. Like in the second season, they kept introducing more. Like each person, like this one guy has a has a girlfriend and a boyfriend. And then the other guy in their group, it was like 2 married couples to begin with. Okay. And then they were asking, the storyline for the first season was they were asking the one couple to come live with them. They introduced their son first. They go, yes, it's just us and our like 3-year-old son. And then they're like, hey, Johnny, Sandra and Joe are going to come live in the guest house. And he's like, yay. And it's like, ooh, this is 7 years later, honey. You're 10 now and you are not happy about that. It is in the world. And you look these people up and like 2 of them have like a lot of followers, or one of them has like 23.1 followers, the pole dancer girl. And the rest of them like have no followers. They have no, like they did it for nothing. They did it for nothing. It's not even like they were like, do you know what I mean? Not that like followers will undo the fact that you fucked multiple people on camera, but it's just so gross. It's so gross.
That is gross.
And then so,
and for nothing.
But they're not hot. So it's these 2 unhot couples, and then they're together. And then the one guy's like, I want to come out to my parents. And he's like his parents are like a pretty religious Jewish couple.
Come out as polyamorous?
Yeah, which seems crazy, right? I feel like the reason you want to come out to people is because you need more people to talk to. But it's like, you're poly. You have fucking 4 husbands and 5 wives. Like, you have keep it in the group, dude. Why do we have to hear about it? Ew. Like, why are you putting your poor parents through this? It's so horrific. And then it's on camera too. It's so disgusting.
Right.
And then so the one guy, the second season, the one guy that came out to his parents, he's like, I've always been bi. And then they start talking about the other guy, and the other couple is like, my brother's coming into town. His brother's gay. And he's like, ooh, I want to fuck your brother. And he's like, maybe he can sleep in between you guys. Like the guy's like bringing his brother into it. I'm like, this is so incesty. Like just fuck your siblings. Instead of being poly and then telling your family, just fuck your family. How about that? And don't tell us.
I had a friend that was poly for a brief time, yeah.
And what was his experience?
They got a divorce.
I don't think it lasts to like long-term relationships. But then they say things like, okay, so one chick was like, my new boyfriend can't keep a hard-on with a condom on, or can't come with a condom or something.
Right.
So she's like, so I've decided to fluid bond with him, which is what they call not using condoms. Raw dogging to them is fluid bonding. And then I'm going to start wearing condoms with my husband. And the husband's like, yeah, I'll wear condoms. It makes me so horny to think of her getting banged out by like this hot guy, raw dogged. I'm like, ew. It's really twisted.
That is weird.
And you just want them to be hotter. The whole time you're like, oh, I wish they were hotter. Like the one couple with the kid, it's like you can just see like those titties, milk was sucked out of those titties. Like they sucked the meat out of them too.
In a weird way, I can almost see, like I don't think I would be able to handle it or want it, but I could almost see how it would be hot to see like someone that you're with get banged out. Because it's almost like
Anthony's a cuck. Hold the presses.
Hold on.
Anthony is
because
a cuck.
Because if you're really into a chick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like banging her, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and you also are a person that watches porn, then it's almost like you are having your own porn with this chick on a daily basis or whatever. But 10 years down the road, or however old these people are, at a certain point you're like, I want to sit back and watch you in a porno, but like with someone else. I'm not saying that I would like be
Anthony,
down for
you
it.
just came out on Meanspiration as a cuck.
I am not a cuck, and I'm not saying that I would be into it.
Do you want them to be black?
No.
Oh my God,
well,
you want them to be black? He said no, but he didn't mean it. I could see his face.
I'm not trying to come off as racist.
You're a genuine cuck.
No, but I could almost understand that.
Well, I always like when my boyfriends tell me about like when girls hit on them. I think it's hot. But I have to feel really solid in the relationship, like, because it's like, ooh, they're like, they have options, but they're choosing me. And then right. I do end up getting cheated on most of the time. I'm always like, they picked me. And then I'm like looking at their text like, oh, looks like they picked a couple people. They picked a bundle. Wow. I had one ex-boyfriend. This was the worst thing ever. I was like paying his rent and paying for all his shit. And he had gotten in a fight with this guy. And he wasn't being honest. And the fight got so bad that it just was in public. It was fucking with me. It was like very embarrassing. So I was like, I did go through his text, but it wasn't, I don't think it's okay. I think people deserve their privacy. Like I would never go through someone's text unless it was like, I felt like he was like in a dangerous position. So I was like, are you still fighting with that guy? He's like, no, we made up. But I was like, they're still fucking fighting. So I go on his phone and sure enough, it's like them being like,
with a guy?
Yeah, they were in this fight and they were like texting each other. They were going to stab each other and shit. And I was like, okay, that's fucking unsafe. But so then, and I was like with this dude. I was like, I was spending all my money on him. I was like paying our rent and shit because I kind of thought we were going to be together. Like I thought we were like it for each other, which is so crazy. And I don't think I would ever feel that way that fast with someone. Like, I don't know. But it was like real. I was very off because I was like looking at that. And then I saw that he had texted his ex-girlfriend and I was like, And he texted his ex-girlfriend, God, teach your kids to read. Annie's so fucking dumb. So I'm like, ouch. He goes, and she's so boring. All she talks about is her stupid nieces. Ow. Then I don't know why I'm on 3 already. I think that was 2. Okay, we're just gonna say 3 because those were really bad. Then he goes, I can't wait to make some money and come steal you away. And I'm like, what, to make money? Wait, are you gonna pay me back if you make money? Like, and I was just like, oh my God. So that in that case, I'm glad I read the fucking text. Jesus Christ. Because I was like,
that's the catch-22. It's like, you don't want to disrespect someone's privacy, but if you know something's up and you just need that proof.
I didn't think that type of stuff was up though. There was another time too where I read my boyfriend's text messages, and this was back when there was like flip phones and it was tine.
Yeah.
And so he left his phone in my car and there weren't like passwords on phones or anything. Mm-hmm. And I never I always kind of have open password policy with my boyfriends and stuff. Like if there's something on there to find and you find it, I guess we'll just deal with it. I'd rather just like be honest about the situation than being like a fake shit. Right. So that's why I was like, when I read that stuff, I was like, oh my God, like, I just had no clue. And it was very hurtful. It was like the meanest shit people have said about me. But it was like, it's good to know that that's like how he thinks of me. Cause I could still like be in a shitty relationship with someone like that, you know, if I stayed in that and didn't know that. But I'm sure something would have dropped at that point. Something would have given. But okay, so back when I lived in Santa Fe, I was dating this guy, Darky Marky, my Mexican boyfriend, who I ended up marrying on ecstasy. I don't know if you guys remember that. The Stannies, the Insannies, probably know that story. But he had left his phone in my car and I went to he was like, can you grab it for me? So I went to get it and I had sent him, this is so gay. I sent him a text that was like a spoon. It was supposed to be like, hey, I want to spoon with you later. And I did like a parenthesis and then return and then like a lowercase L. So it looked like 2 spoons. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to see if it showed up on his phone looking like 2 spoons. So I checked his phone. And before that text, which I'd sent him like the night before, there was a text from some girl that said, last night was so hot. And I thought it was an old text. And I was like, because I was with him every night except this one night my dad was in town. And so I looked at it and I was like, oh my God. And then I like went inside. I'm like, I can't remember what the girl's name was. I was just like, who's Candace? Like, what the fuck? And he was like he was just so busted, but I would never have known. And I'm allergic to condoms. So if people are cheating on me, it's like, I need to know because I'm about to get fucking syphilis. So those are the 2 times. So as I say this, I guess I will be checking boys' phones. It's just the embarrassing part both times is that I never have a clue they're cheating on me. Like I just assume they're not. Mm-hmm. I'm like cocky. I'm like, why would they cheat on me? And I'm like, I guess because I'm boring and can't read. My nieces suck. Jesus. I thought they were pretty cute. Have you ever caught anyone through text, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Several times, like 2 different people.
And you went in being like, I have spidey sense that something's happening?
One of them definitely, and the other one kind of. But they're like long stories. I don't want to get into it. But yeah.
He's like, I wish they just would have cheated on me in person because I'm a cuck.
One got instant. One got instant karma though. She
got AIDS?
No, it was like
car accident, died.
We were like about to break up and then we were like trying to like reconcile the situation. So like to be nice, I like packed like a picnic together and like she was like I was 21, she was like 19 or 18. And like she drank a lot but like wasn't legal. And we went to the beach and we like just ate sandwiches and like drank a little. Like I didn't really drink that much, but she drank like a bottle and a half of wine. got so drunk that she couldn't walk back to the car, so I had to literally carry her back to my car. And the whole time I'm carrying her, her phone is vibrating.
Drunk, like wine drunks? It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I had to literally carry her.
Especially when you're drinking underage, you choose wine. What a fucking faggot that girl is.
So we get back
I'm 18. Mom, can you buy me a bottle of wine? What a fucking loser that bitch is. It better have been out of a box.
Wasn't. Straight bottles.
Don't try to be classy when you're underage drinking. You're supposed to be drinking like Fireball or like Jaeger.
Right. We get back to my car though, and her phone has been blowing up the whole time. And like the whole time we were at the beach, she was texting her best friend. And like something happened to where like me and her best friend just weren't getting along because I was trying to tell her like, hey, like snorting Klonopin like probably isn't a good idea, you know? And she took that as like being controlling or whatever. So the whole time her friend was texting her that she needs to leave me because like I'm controlling, even though I just was like.
Was her friend also
Klonopin.
the person that sold her Klonopin?
Yeah,
Just like, this guy's fucking with my income.
Like they were like railing Klonopin all the time.
Oh
And I
my
was just
God.
like, I don't really want to be with you if you're like doing that all the time. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm sick of carrying your ass around, you fucking dumb bitch.
But like my girlfriend's texts back to her were like, I know he's so controlling and he's like piece of shit and like this and that. And I'm like, we just had this like picnic together and you were like telling me all this positive stuff. I was like, I think this is going to be it. On the way home, she pissed herself and I didn't. In my car though.
That's a barrel roll, dude. That's like you just slow down to 5 miles per hour, open the door and just boop, roll the bitch out. She won't know she's on Klonopin.
She pissed in my fucking car. A lot. And in her pants. And so when I got back to her house, I just like, still wasn't up yet. I just went up to their door, told her mom what happened, and said just, hey, pick her up, get her out of here. Like, I got to go get my car washed now, and like, see you later.
What car was it?
I drove a Saturn at the time.
Oh my God, Saturns, they usually come with a little piss in the front seat. Did you know that? My first boyfriend that I lost my virginity to, who went to prison, the guy who took my virginity on his waterbed, who had a pet ferret, by the way. I lost my virginity on a waterbed with a ferret present. And now that you hear it, don't I give off the vibe of someone that lost their virginity with a ferret present?
Was there a hamster in a wheel too?
No. Ferret. It's fucking ridiculous. He had a neon. He had a red neon, and he would he would have like his hat, you know, and his pants were like low, and he would ride he would have his seat all the way back so you could only see like the little button on the top of the hat, you know, and he'd have his hand up like this.
Right.
And he had rims on it. It's a fucking neon. It's a girl's car.
That's funny.
Shit. Oh, I went out. Did you break quarantine?
Yeah, I'm here.
Stop. We don't count this. I give tests. I'm rich like Joe Rogan, and I give everyone tests. By the way, my dream is to be invited to do Joe Rogan's podcast during the quarantine, to show up, to take the test, and to test positive. It's like the best case scenario.
And then have to leave
and then just be like, okay, bye, thanks. Oh my God, did you see? I have a merch idea inspired by Jessie Mae Peluso. So Jessie Mae was making fun of the candles that Gwyneth Paltrow was selling that smelled like her pussy. So they smell like my vagina. So Jessie Mae made ones that smell like her butthole, and I want to make ones that smell like my feet. Can you make a candle that smells like yogurt? I'm going to make them. Would you guys buy them? Comment below. I think it's funny. Also, I'm selling, I've been giving myself a lot of pedicures to keep my feet fresh. So I've been soaking my feet, and then I've been bottling up my pedicure water, you guys. I'm going to sell these for only $100. What do you think about that? That is the lowest anything I've sold on this entire podcast. It's a deal. And if you order now, I'll throw in an extra vial for half price. $150 will get you 2 vials of my foot water. You guys are so lucky. You can just sip it throughout the month, like bone broth. It keeps you healthy. I'm looking at my notes. You got to watch the Polyamory. Did you see the commercials for eHarmony? They're like, go on a video date.
No.
I'm like, why were they not doing that always? That's a way better idea than going on an actual date where you're like, have to look at someone's face.
Yeah.
And reject them in person.
Absolutely, yeah.
They should just be doing that. Every time I've gone on 2 internet dates, and it's been horrific. I always show up and they have the gayest voice I've ever heard. Gay voice will throw you off.
Because if you get catfished on a video date, you can just click out of it.
Yeah. Well, how would you be getting catfish? They have a cardboard cutout of a hotter person.
Well, no, like their picture on eHarmony or whatever is like good.
Yeah.
And then they, you see them with the
yes, I see what you're saying.
Screen up on their laptop or whatever, and you're like, internet problems. I don't know.
I think people are crazy when they do that. It's like, just be. I'll duct tape my titties smaller in my pictures. I'll fucking Hillary Swank it and Girls Don't Cry. Like, I will make my tits look like I am a 10-year-old boy or I'm post-op or something. Like, I don't give a shit because I don't want to show up on a date with someone and they think I have like big tits because of the angle or whatever. Or I bronzed the little cleavage crack. And then you show up and I don't want to see that look of disappointment.
Right.
Just fucking, you look like shit, Fucking give yourself a unibrow. Let them love you. Let them know. But I think that's a way better dating thing. They should all be like that.
Yeah, it's a way better idea.
It's fucking crazy. Do people get murdered on dating sites?
On Craigslist, they do.
I know, but Craigslist, it's like...
I think that's why they took off dating on there.
I think it's called Craigslist because it's the list of people that they are going to kill. Guys, I'm killing it. I'm being so funny. Oh, I'm going to do some tarot cards. All right. This is what, guys, I'm really good at tarot. I don't know how to do it. This is the card of the day or the week. Princess of Wands. That is so crazy. I am the princess. I'm the Princess of Wands. You guys, the Princess of Magic Wands. Man, that's so good. What a coincidence that is the card that was on top. And wow. The universe is working for us, guys. I found my vibrator.
Wait a minute. That's the vibrator that you lost?
It's not the vibrator I lost. I lost
I
a
was
small
gonna
one. I
say.
still don't know where it is, but I don't want people to know I have multiple vibrators. They're going to think I'm weak. They're going to think I have a weak clit, okay? They're going to think I can't come. I don't want them to think that. They'll think I'm stealing from Ali Makovsky. These are still here. I got good. Okay. Yes, or 2 days ago, I wanted to get a head start on questions. So I asked you guys to send me questions, and they were literally the worst questions I've ever heard. Your would you rather should put you in, you should be institutionalized, imprisoned. Fuck you. Fuck you for what you wrote me. Do you know how many times I've already answered that I would fuck my dad over eating my mom out? We know that. He always makes me come. We've been through this. How many times can you ask me the same thing? Now, have you heard any bad news? Oh, wait, I want to tell you guys good stuff. I broke quarantine the other night. I wore a mask. I was good about it, social distanced. And I drove like an hour out to this beach and I saw the bioluminescent waves. And I'll have Anthony put the picture up here right now. But it was so fucking cool. So I don't know what it is. It's like the algae or something. It causes this chemical reaction. And at night, you can see it. It just glows like a neon light. It's the most beautiful thing in the whole world. And I tried to show you guys on live because I wanted you guys to see it, but it didn't show up because my camera's not good. But I want to start taking people on my Patreon out on like excursions because I know a lot of you guys live in ugly places. And I am privileged to live in California and I can go on a drive, quarantined in my own car, and take you guys to the mountains and shit. I think that'd be fun. I got to get a hotspot or something for that, but I will figure that out. The murder hornets, did you hear of them?
No, Allie brought it up though.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, but there's some murder hornets coming to kill the bees.
To kill the bees?
They're coming to kill the bees.
They're killing bees or us? Like they can murder
I think they're here to
humans
murder
or-
bees, but don't we die if the bees die?
I don't know.
I haven't really gone into the bee research.
I don't
but
understand how that's the thing.
I was thinking, what if they came to murder the pussies of bees? And you know how bees die when they fuck? But then I looked that up and it turns out it's only male bees. And look, I screen grabbed what happens to male bees when they fuck. Okay. Males, i.e. the drones, die because a piece of their sexual organs rips off in the female's cavity.
Jesus.
Isn't that disgusting?
That's fucked.
Imagine how much less you guys would be worried about your dicks if they fell off in pussies every time you fucked. So that's pretty fucked up. And what else? I don't know, man. I miss going outside. I miss talking to strangers. But the murder hornets, I probably should have done a little more research on them. Doesn't that sound like a good like college mascot? The murder hornets.
Yeah.
My college was the
Football
fighting prairie dogs.
Are you serious?
We went out of business. The school went out of business, obviously. Fighting prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are, by the way, the same size as my dick. So I don't see much of a threat in that. They fight? What are they fighting? The weeds? What are they fighting? Grass? They don't let grass grow? Man, real dangerous.
What a prairie dog really is.
They're cute, though. They're like little moles, and they live in holes in the ground. They go in and out and in and out like those guys into Your Girlfriend when you're watching. In and out and in and out. Anthony's a cuck.
Definitely not a cuck.
I want to make a pledge to you guys that I'm not going to do keto like everyone else is doing in quarantine. Everyone's on keto.
Yeah.
My mom, Anthony, is on keto.
Really?
And you want to know why that disturbs me? There's a thing called keto crotch that I looked up. Makes your pussy stink.
Really?
Keto makes a woman's crotch rot.
Because of all the fat?
I don't know why. It makes your pussy stink. So now I'm worried. I'm hoping Thanksgiving is canceled. Because God forbid we go home. We're like, Mom, why are you cooking fish for Thanksgiving? She's not. She's just pussing up the joint. Put your pussy away, Mom. For Christ's sake. I got to bring her pussy wipes when I come.
The funny thing about everyone doing keto is like, they just start like, oh, you got to eat like no carbs and a lot of fats. And then they just eat so many fats that they just are fatter than they were before.
Is that the funny thing about it, Anthony?
Yeah.
I saw your brain go, I don't have anything good to say. I saw your eyes look up into the corner of the room and go, this isn't going to be good.
Well, you know.
You lost faith in your own stream of consciousness in the middle of it, and I appreciate that about you because you were right. It was bad.
Yeah. All right. Move on.
Can they hear you? I couldn't hear you on the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. What else did I look into? Oh, you know what? We should do the questions. We should do the questions because the questions actually got good today. The first ones were bad. The first round was fucking terrible. But then today we got some good ones. And I just put this up like an hour ago. You guys came in quick. Thank you. So if you write them afterwards, if they're good, I'll do them on the next one, I guess. But I probably won't. Let's be real. Okay. How do we find the questions? Okay. We're going to the beginning. Someone asked me if I'm excited to vote for Joe Biden. I don't think anyone wants to vote for Joe Biden.
You're basically voting for the
I don't think
price.
there's anyone on earth that's going to be like, yay, I can't wait to vote for Joe Biden. Obama's even going to be like, fuck, maybe I should vote for Trump. Okay. Most watched rom-com. I used to watch My Best Friend's Wedding a lot because I was like the girl that would bro down with all the boys I had a crush on. I'm like, we're just friends, whatever, dude. Like always punching them and stuff. Like, and then they would like start dating girls and be all into them. We're like, but I loved you. Couldn't you tell? I was just teasing you. I was just punching you in the dick because I had a crush on you. Come on now. But now all those guys are getting divorced and they're coming back to me. All the boys I had crushes on that I never got in high school, they whip back around. They hit me up now and I go, nah, thanks. Seen the hairline. I'm good. Stories from growing up in middle school. I used to go to these Quaker youth retreats. Those were kind of fun. But I guess this was high school. I went to Quaker youth retreats and one was called Youth Quake. And it was all the different Quaker youth retreats would meet up in a different place. So it was just like a bunch of teenagers. And we took a bus to North Carolina and they rented out, I don't know if it was a dorm or they rented out a hotel or something, but we were all in these rooms and the counselors overheard me. The counselors were called, by the way, FPs, which stood for friendly presences. Doesn't that sound like people that molest you? Mm-hmm. A friendly presence? Mm-hmm. They didn't. But so the FPs were overheard me saying to this kid that I was going to sneak out to meet him. So they sat in front of my door. So me and my roommate couldn't sneak out, and it was snowing out. And we climbed out. We tied like in the fucking movies, we tied the sheets together into a string and we climbed out and we scaled the icy building and climbed into the boys' rooms. This is what a slut I was in high school. I think I was a freshman. I was probably 14. This is what a hoe I was. And we climbed into the boys' rooms. And my friend Peta, who I saw like a couple years ago, still fucking friends with this dude, climbed into the room and we made out. Each made out with the other one or whatever. And I remember I just got my nipples pierced, so it was all sensitive. Or my one nipple. I got one pierced first and then the other. And so that was pretty cool. And then we climbed back in and they didn't even know. They didn't know we snuck out. That's pretty fun.
Did you have to climb straight up?
It was just like, we tied it to the thing. So we climbed out and there was like a little ledge. It was like, if I'm remembering correctly, this was fucking forever ago, but we didn't have to go. They were on the same floor as us. So we didn't have to like scale, but there was like a little ledge underneath. So we just had to kind of keep our tiptoes on, which is so fucking crazy. What if I died doing that? Died from being a baby slut. And we just went to make out too. It was like, I wasn't even like that much of, like, I wasn't like the good type of slut, like the one that puts out.
Right.
I had like, I don't think I'd had sex yet. But even when I had sex for the first time and then I like didn't have sex again for a long time because I was like so scared of it. So traumatized. That waterbed, I was like wishing around. I was like, oh my God, I'm drowning. And then he told everyone I fucked like a dead fish and it hurt my feelings so bad. And also I was like, technically I was floating. Like, are you kidding me? This is so mean. I'm like, also, did you want me to be good in bed when I lost my virginity? Imagine that. A born whore. I'm all coming in with like fucking. By the way, that's what I think good sex is. Oh, this is what I want to fucking talk about. I'm going to do this. Okay, on my Patreon, I'm going to do a thing where we can surf the web together. I have a green screen, so I'll be surfing the web and then you guys can see what I'm looking at on the green screen behind me. And maybe I can do like some episodes on here of it too. But I'm going to do a bonus of this on my Patreon. And it's, so we'll go further into depth in this. And we're going to also watch the entire polygamy fucking show. I'm watching the whole fucking thing and we're mystery science theatering it. We're stopping it. We're pausing it. We're going to go through the whole thing. So check that out too. It's going to be fun. But anyway, so I saw these like death portraits people have been doing. Instead of embalming their dead loved ones and putting them in a casket, they're fucking they embalm them posed in like their favorite hobby or something. Like they have this one dude. Okay, so it's people like with a hat on. They got like a flat brim hat. They're like, and their sunglasses. So they're like, okay. And then they'll have them like holding cards. There's like one dude playing poker with his friends. He's like,
what show is this on?
I just found this online. Oh. So I'm going to go through this whole fucking thing. I'll send you the picture so Anthony can put him up here. He's like, his friends are around him. And then another one's like, there's this old lady. She's got like a beer and like one guy has like Doritos and he's playing a video game. He's like, he's got the controller in his hands. He's like, so it's pretty much like the thing that was their biggest vice. So I was thinking about like what I would be. I think I would just be like, I would just have it frozen like. And then I'd have Funyuns and I'd have one of my swords. I'd be like flashing my tits with one of my swords. And then everyone can pose around them and take pictures. It's actually brilliant. And when I die, if I end up in a fucking casket, I will come back to life and murder all of you and then kill myself again. So that you can then take my body and then put it in the way I fucking wanted it, okay? But it's so much better. And then you can pose with it for like Instagram and shit. It's so funny. Anthony is hopefully doing a good job editing this and there's pictures flashing as I say this. But we're going to go more in depth on my Patreon with this because it's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's so much better than a casket. You don't want to see them sleeping. You want to see them partying, doing their thing. Fucking be fun. Anyway. All right, more questions. More questions. Uh-oh, I got an 818 number. Who is it? Scary. When was the last time you got too stoned? I'll tell you the most epic time I got too stoned. This kid used to pick me up for high school. I went to a juvenile delinquent high school, and it was just for like bad kids and like special ed kids. And I guess I was a little bit of both. I was one of the ones in the middle. But it was for like young criminals and then people like little kids that like drew horses and also galloped down the hall. There was a girl that thought she was a horse. She would gallop all the time. So I got picked up by the fucking weed dealer. Okay, I got picked up by this dude and this other guy who actually has a popular business, Illadelph, where he makes bongs. He like made it. He made it for my school, Luca Falso. Is it bad to say people's full names? Anyway, he didn't do anything wrong. But he picked me up and they took me down to, we would go to this dead end, Rex Avenue for some reason. I have no clue why we thought it was a smart move to go hotbox a car in a dead end where we would have to flee into the woods. And so they smoked me out. I got so high that I couldn't go to school. I was like, I'm too high to go to school, guys. I can't go. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. And they just dropped me off at school anyway. They were like, sorry. So we go into school and I'm like, I'm going to get expelled. Like, I'm not going to be able to pull this off. Usually I could get pretty high and pull it. This was like, my mouth was like cotton mouthed shut. And I just like, my eyes were like all Asianed and like red. And I was like, fucking so high, dude. I couldn't like form thoughts. I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucked. So then I'm getting all paranoid. I'm like, I almost like ran when they dropped me off. I almost ran into the woods. Like, it was like, I would rather just like disappear than do this. So, but they don't let me. They make me walk in, which was actually bullying. It was bullying. They thought it was funny that they got me that high. I walk in and the teacher goes, guys, welcome. We decided to have movie day. And we just had a day where we watched movies on pillows on the floor.
So it worked out.
I never got in any trouble. Nobody noticed. It was the weirdest. It was like the most beautiful moment. I feel like my life has worked like that. Like, I've always had these like kind of amazing moments like that. And I was fine. It was movie day. So it pays to go to a school for fucking special ed people. I like your nose. Thank you. Hey, Annie, what do you mean by access to private chat on your $20 tier? Oh, I want to do on Patreon. Oh, not like private one-on-one chats, but I want to do like, I'm going to start this tonight maybe. So this will already have happened by the time you can do it. But I want to do like for the $20 tier people, we can do like a Zoom hangout or whatever. And then if it ends up being gross and weird, we'll never do it again. It really depends on how you guys behave. But I think it'd be fun to like just hang out and I don't know, we can watch something or do something. If you could kill one person and get away with it, who and why? I would not kill anyone. That's crazy. I don't want to kill anyone. Jesus. Would you kill anyone, Anthony?
I would kill a certain type of person, yeah.
A certain type of person? This is now genocide? A type?
No.
What, with a certain color of skin? Wow, Anthony's racist.
No, people that...
Racist cop.
People that ride bikes in the lane.
In the bike lane?
No. In the lane.
Oh, in your lane?
In my lane.
Well, that's a pretty easy kill.
Yeah, I know.
So you can do that, and you can get away with it.
Yeah, you'd still get in trouble somehow.
Bikers
or the people that ever since this quarantine just started walking down the middle of the street. Like,
people are being really crazy, and they're not wearing masks and shit. And like I've like mini broken quarantine, and I am going out to pools and stuff, and because I want to make it a tandemic. I'm gonna see how tan I can get. I want to see if I can get so tan that I take away all of the good things I've done for my skin by not drinking or smoking. I want to see if I can get back to the age I should look like by just sun damage. But I still wear a fucking mask and stay away from people.
Right. These
people are crazy. It's like not like even whatever you think about the government keeping us locked up or whatever, and you want to do, it's still, nobody's making up the virus.
Right.
People are dying. I don't want to get it. So I wouldn't kill anyone. Some of these are bad. Who influenced me the most? Okay, serious question. Who influenced you the most when you got started? Well, Donnell, I've told that story before, how Donnell Rollins, I went to a party at his house, Ashley Larry from the Chappelle Show. He's been on Rogan a bunch recently. I fucking love Donnell. He's so funny. And I actually did an episode of his podcast where we talked about some of the early days. But I met him at a party right when I moved to New York to start doing stand-up. And he like humiliated. He was like, do you want to do my show on Monday? And I was like, I'm not ready. And he was like, fuck you. Go hard or go home. And he humiliated me in front of all of these black people, which I don't like being humiliated in front of black people. No, it was at his party, and he just like humiliated me in front of this whole party. And so I ended up just going and doing the show anyway. And he really helped me. He was like, go hard or go home, son. Go hard or go home. And that actually really helped me, because I maybe would have just like, eventually I would have gone, but I was definitely like making excuses and stuff. And that's so funny. That actually reminds me, I keep getting DMs from people asking me advice on how to start stand-up right now. Are you out of your goddamn mind? What do you mean? You can't start stand-up now? Why are you asking the craziest question? They're like, how do I get a job as a server at a restaurant? Well, I don't fucking know. Restaurants don't exist right now. Stand-up is dead. It's in a coma. It's going to come back, but not for a fucking while. Stand-up's going to be the last thing that comes back. And I love that everyone's hopeful and thinks it's going to come back soon. And I hope they're right. And I hope I'm wrong. But it's got to be the last thing. It is the least essential job I could think of. Large crowds. I mean, it's going to be weird when it comes back, but it's not going to be for a while. I'm not planning on it coming back anytime soon. I haven't tried any of the Zoom things, but I might have to try it eventually, because I am itching. I want to get on stage, but fuck. I don't know how. But anyway, I got a message from this girl. Years ago, I was on the G train coming back from IKEA, and there was this guy and this girl. And I always do crowd work in public. I always talk to strangers. I'm literally going to peak at 75, because I act like a 75-year-old old woman all the time, just chatting. I'm like getting shit off people's faces, strangers. Some would call it a nightmare. Others call it charming. It really depends on what you're into. But so I saw these two people on the train, and it was such a long train ride back from IKEA that I was just talking to them the whole time. And I was like, are you guys a couple? And they're like, no, we just live together. I'm like, really? It seems to be sexual tension. And they're like, they started like giggling and stuff, like, no, we're roommates. We would never do that. And I was like, why would you not do that? Why the fuck would you not do that? And eventually, like, I was like, you should just fuck if you want to fuck. It's like, life is short. So then they ended up getting married and having a kid. They hit me up on Facebook, and they were like, dude, you got us together. We have a kid now. And they got divorced, but she wrote me a DM. She just wrote me a DM. Let me read it to you. It's on Facebook. Let me find it. Hold on. I haven't responded to this. Yes, I should respond before this goes up. But she goes, hey, I almost never come on here. She goes, hey, long lost friend that I met on the subway about 9 years ago that totally called that the guy I was with and I could end up a couple. We then got married. Now we're best friends. You've been the topic of multiple conversations of how we ended up together. Boom. I made a fucking baby, dude. They had a kid because of me. Isn't that cool? She goes, anyway, I will pay you 1,000 gumballs to talk to my 20-year-old family member. He wants to get into stand-up and just started a podcast. Let me know what you think. What the fuck are you guys talking about? I keep getting these emails how to start stand-up. There's no stand-up. Listen, I picked the wrong job. Okay? You have a choice to not pick the wrong job. This job doesn't exist. It'll come back. I'm just kidding. But I can't give any advice. What advice? Do it. I don't know. You can't do it. I just thought that was so funny. Which weapons are you best at and which are you worst at? I'm not good at any of the weapons. I'm bad at every weapon. And I'm going to start learning the weapons. I want to learn how to use the nunchucks, but I will knock my teeth out. And I feel like I need a football helmet. So if you guys want to send me a football helmet, I'll do it. If anyone has an extra football helmet, hit me up and I'll set up a P.O. box. Who would win a fight, you or Andy Dick? Andy Dick, 100%. Andy Dick is crazy. He would be gouging my eyes out and shit and punching me in the pussy. I met him once. He's weird. I liked him though. Are nip slips really that offensive? No. Who said that? Uncle Joey hands you an edible. Going to the moon or just taking half? I don't do weed anymore, but if someone hands me something and I choose to do it, I'm going to do the largest amount of it. Is your second toe longer than your big toe? No. Butt sex. Never on purpose. Once on purpose with an Irish guy. Tiny. When is hitting a stranger justified? If they attack your loved ones or you, hit a stranger. What's my quarantine routine? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't have a quarantine. I tried to. For a while, I was like getting up. I was doing a meditation. I was writing for an hour. I was journaling for an hour. I was getting real into it. I was doing yoga. but the routine has fallen. I got to work on it though. If I'm the queen of the teen, who's the horror of Quora? I want to be the horror of Quora. If a snake were to bite my balls during sex and I nutted, would it poison my girlfriend's pussy? Actually, your girlfriend's pussy juice would be the antidote. That would be the only thing that would stop the you from dying balls first from the venom. That's true. I'm a doctor. You guys know that, right? Okay. That's it, guys. I don't know why I thought those were good questions, by the way. I was like, these are great questions. Good ones. They're terrible. Hit up the Patreon. I'm definitely going to be doing the surfing the web, so we'll look at some crazy shit and fuck with it. And I'm going to go through the entire 2 seasons of Polyamory, and fucking trust me, it is disgusting and you're going to enjoy it. It's like, did you guys ever, my parents got that like better sex video that was in the end of the Playboys. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-mm. They had these, like, you could order them in the back, and my parents ordered the better sex videos. They're like instructional videos, and they were so disgusting. We all stole them and watched them in our rooms, and they're like, just like old people fucking. It's like all these women with short hair where you're like, I never want to see a woman with short hair's pussy. It's just, it's like Stephanie from fucking Baywatch, the least hot person on earth. It was just like a bunch of hers getting banged out by like very regular looking older men. It was nasty. So it kind of looks like that, but we'll watch it together. All right. Thanks, guys. Hit up the Patreon. And thanks to all the people that have already pledged. And I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Bye.